Without looking anything up, who are you taking? Troy Tulowitzki or Nomar Garciaparra? Both beasts in their respective primes, but both very different players, right? Well, what if I told you that there isn't a right answer?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Because based on the numbers, these two had virtually the same careers. But it's never that simple. So let's break it down. Tulo versus Nomar. Welcome to Good Vibes Baseball. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. I do appreciate you either way. Now let's get into some good vibes, shall we? Baseball is the best. The numbers alone are beautiful. The stories they tell can be inspiring. Take Roger Maris and the number 61. We immediately know what that number is, and we know the shit that man endured as he slugged his way to history, just by looking at the number. But sometimes the numbers can be misleading and lead to a fun debate. That's why we're here. Now you may think I'm crazy for even suggesting this debate. Tulo versus Nomar. Did I forget to remind y'all to strap on the tinfoil hats? Well, not so fast, my friends, because we may remember them uniquely. Tulo might be the best defensive shortstop ever, for example. But when we look at just the numbers, these two finished with nearly identical careers. Seriously, they are separated by .2 career Baseball Reference wins above replacement while starting and finishing their careers exactly 10 years apart. In fact, they finished separated by just 5 career home runs, finished within 30 points of each other in career batting average, career slugging percentage, and career on-base plus slugging percentage, and finished with the exact same career on-base percentage of .361. But it's not just the numbers either, as each player was a highly touted, right-handed hitting, bigger-bodied shortstop who were expected to lead their respective struggling franchises to glory. And they each almost did it! But maybe the craziest coincidence? Their respective career trajectories. It's September of 1996. The Boston Red Sox are fine. They had a solid 1995 season, losing to Cleveland in the ALDS, but 1996, well, that was a different story. And by this point, they were nearing the end of a rather mediocre season. And the Sox were still cursed at this point. So what can you do? Speaking of curses, be sure to check out our video on the Angels and their curse. Now that's a curse. But the Sox, they were in desperate need of an identity, and did they ever get one in the form of Nomar Garciaparra? Well, maybe not right away. A first-round pick from Georgia Tech and highly touted rookie, his initial cup of coffee was actually nothing to write home about, with just 4 bombs, a .241 batting average, and an on-base percentage south of 300 in just 24 games. But 1997? Well, Nomar, he was handed the keys to the infield, and it looked like Boston not only had their shortstop of the future, but they might have one of the best players in all of baseball. He led the American League with 209 hits and 11 triples that season, to go along with a .306 batting average, 30 home runs, 44 doubles, 98 runs batted in, and an OPS of .875 on his way to not only the Rookie of the Year award, but also the AL Silver Slugger and an 8th place AL MVP finish. All good for 6.6 Baseball Reference wins above replacement. As a rookie. Go to college, kids. Oh, he also had the longest hit streak by an AL rookie ever when he hit safely in 30 straight games. Sure, the Red Sox team finished below 500 and missed the playoffs that season, but curse. But how'd Tulo start things out? Something tells me it's going to be similar. It's September of 2006. The Colorado Rockies are, well, the Colorado Rockies. Nearing the end of their 11th straight season without a postseason berth, and the Blake Street Bombers all but retired. The Rockies, they were also looking for an identity, in anything besides dinger. In steps, Troy Tulowitzki, the tall, big-bodied California kid and first-round godsend, drafted 7th overall out of the University of California, Long Beach. Go Dirtbags. Tulo was everything you dreamed of in a modern-day shortstop. But just like Nomar, Tulo's initial September cup of coffee was mediocre by his later standards. He hit just 240, Nomar hit 241, but Nomar quadrupled Tulo's home run production. Tulo hit 1 to Nomar's 4. Games played is interesting, with 23 for Tulo compared to 25 for Nomar, but just as with Nomar, Tulo turned it on in his true rookie season. In 2007, Troy Tulowitzki stole the hearts of Rockies fans. After winning spring training MVP honors and beating out resident hero Clint Barmas for the starting shortstop gig, he'd go on to hit a very impressive .291 with 24 bombs, 33 doubles, 99 runs batted in to go with an OPS of .838. Those 99 RBIs are good for second all-time by a rookie shortstop, one place ahead of Nomar Garciaparra. He didn't win Rookie of the Year that year, thanks Ryan Braun, but did finish 18th in MVP voting. It was a very solid rookie campaign, but Nomar's numbers were way better, right? Well, those 30 bombs and .306 average do look great, but from a bWAR perspective, these two were almost identical. Tulo was actually worth just a tiny bit more compared to his peers that season, posting a bWAR of 6.8 in 2007 compared to Nomar's 6.6 in 1997. But again, they were worth virtually the exact same amount of wins above replacement in their respective rookie seasons. What's crazier is how they each did it. Nomar had better numbers offensively, but Tulo was a beast with the glove. Dude posted a league-leading defensive bWAR of 3.9 that season. He led all MLB shortstops in fielding percentage, putouts, assists, and double plays turned. He also ranked first in range factor and second in zone rating. Tulowitzki's .987 fielding percentage even set an MLB single-season record by a rookie shortstop. Nomar wasn't bad by any means, posting his second-best season defensively with 2 wins above replacement in 97. But he wasn't that. The other major difference in their respective rookie seasons? Team success. Yes, Rocky fans, we once actually won baseball games. 2007 might be my favorite postseason, until it wasn't. The Rockies went on an incredible run and shocked the world by making it to the World Series, only to bomb out in glorious fashion to the Boston Red Sox. Too bad baseball is cruel and Nomar would be 2 teams removed from Boston by that point. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This isn't whose hot start would you take. Luckily for us, the similarities, they keep coming. Both Nomar Garciaparra and Troy Tulowitzki are absolutely exceptions to the rule. Sure, this year's rookies made it look easy, but it's tough stepping right into a team and not only succeeding, but being the face of that team. Yet both of these two did it. I'd even argue that both of their primes started in their respective rookie seasons. Looking at Nomar first, 1997 would be the first of 4 straight seasons with a bWAR north of 6, and be the first in a stretch where he posted a bWAR of at least 6 in 6 of his first 7 full seasons. In 1998, he absolutely mashed. He posted a batting average of .323, but the power is where Nomar separated himself. He hit a ridiculous 35 bombs, 37 doubles, 122 runs batted in, and an OPS of .946. All of this was good for a bWAR of 7.1. He'd miss out on the 98 MVP, finishing second to Juan Gonzalez. But he also helped bring hope back to Boston, as that Red Sox team would make it back to the postseason for just the second time in the previous 7 years, with Nomar hitting .333 with 3 bombs and 11 RBIs that postseason. Nomar didn't stop moving into 1999 either. Now, 99 might be remembered as the season of Pedro, but Nomar absolutely was the driving force offensively. He won the batting title that year with a .357 batting average and slugged .603 with 42 doubles. He actually had more doubles than strikeouts that season. His home run total did dip a little with only 27, but he still drove in 104 runs and posted an OPS over 1,000. He even had a 3 home run, 2 grand slam, 10 RBI game that season. All of this was good for a very solid 6.6 bWAR. his success even again carried over into the postseason, where his dominance against Cleveland directly led to Troy O'Leary's name being forever etched in Red Sox lore. Too bad the Red Sox ran into the Yankees the following series. He raked again in 2000, but what's new? He led the league in hitting, again, this time with an insane .372 batting average. In fact, he was hitting .400 as late as July, and that second consecutive batting title was the first time someone had done that since Joe DiMaggio. And even though he only hit 21 home runs, he did hit 51 doubles to only 50 strikeouts and slugged .599. The power was absolutely still there. All of this was good for an excellent 7.4 bWAR. But that Red Sox team, they missed the playoffs. The 2001 season, that was supposed to be the year in Boston. They had signed Manny Ramirez to pair with Nomar, and they had Pedro. They were set. We all remember Nomar's famous Sports Illustrated cover that year, right? Well, Nomar, he would end up aggravating a wrist injury and end up missing all but 21 games in 2001, and the Sox missed the playoffs. Not how they planned it. 2002 brought a return to form with Nomar playing in a career-high 156 games on his way to a league-leading 56 doubles to go with a .310 batting average and 120 runs batted in. His 6.8 bWAR was aided by his best defensive season too, with him being worth a very solid 2.5 defensive wins above replacement. The Red Sox did miss the playoffs for the third straight year though, so not all roses. 2003 though was more of the same from Nomar. He continued to mash, hitting above 300 with 28 bombs and 37 doubles. This time though, things actually ended in the postseason, with the Red Sox battling the Yankees in an epic ALCS loss. But Nomar, he hit just .241 that series. And wouldn't you know it, 2003 would be it for Nomar in Boston. He was traded to Chicago before the deadline in 2004, as the Red Sox would go on to break their curse and win the World Series that year. They did give Nomar a ring, but it's not the same. And for Nomar, this would end up being not just the end of his time in Boston, but the end of his prime. But what about Tulo? After the instant individual and team success by Tulowitzki in 2007, hopes were actually a mile high in Denver. Unlike with Nomar though, Tulo was actually hit with the injury bug a bit sooner. 2008 was a wash, with Tulo only hitting .263 with 8 home runs in 101 games. But just as one great season doesn't make a trend, one bad season doesn't either. Tulo rebounded fantastically in 2009. He hit .297 with 32 bombs, 25 doubles, and 20 steals. His OPS was .930 that season, and his OPS plus was .131. He even hit for the cycle that August against the Cubs. His bWAR of 6.5 that season, and his efforts, were good for 5th in MVP voting. But just like in 2007, 2009's individual success also led to the team's success. 2009 would actually be the last time the Rockies would make it back to the postseason until 2017. Unfortunately, 2010 did not include postseason aspirations, but damn, did Tulo ever continue to rake. He posted a career-best 6.7 bWAR that season, on his way to another 5th place MVP finish. This time though, he would add his first Gold Glove and Silver Slugger to his trophy case. He accomplished this by hitting a fantastic .315 with 27 bombs, 32 doubles, 95 runs batted in, and an OPS of .949. He did this in just 122 games, too. 2011 was more of the same from Tulo. After signing a massive extension in November of 2010, he actually played more. Yay! But his numbers, they didn't diminish. He hit .302 that season with 30 bombs and a career-high 36 doubles. His 105 runs batted in were also a career high, and his OPS plus of 131 actually marked the 3rd straight season of posting an OPS plus of at least 131. This is peak Tulo, as not only he raked, earning his 2nd consecutive Silver Slugger, but he also flashed the glove winning his second consecutive Gold Glove. His bWAR of 6.2 that year would also mark his third straight season posting a value over 6. Unfortunately for Tulo, the Rockies, and baseball fans in general, 2012 would not bring the same good fortunes as the previous 3 years. He played in only 47 games that year. Sure, he hit 8 bombs in that span, but yeah, 2012 is another wash, just like 2001 was a wash for Nomar. But also just like Nomar, Tulo rebounded wonderfully upon his return the following season. 2013 brought back peak Tulo. He played in 126 games, hit an excellent .312 with 25 bombs, 27 doubles, and 82 runs batted in. His OBP, slugging, and OPS numbers all returned to form as well. He even posted a then career high 139 OPS plus while finishing 17th in MVP voting. His bWAR also returned to form, with him being worth 5 wins above replacement. But this is why I consider this still a part of his prime. He was 28 years old and arguably the best shortstop in baseball. 2014, however, well, that is where Tulo diverges from Nomar's path a bit. The second season after missing basically the entire 2001 season, Nomar continued to mash and play. He played in 156 games in both 2002 and 2003. Tulo played 126 in 2013 and 91 in 2014. But I still count 2014 as a part of Tulo's prime because he was an absolute stud in those 91 games. Before his hip robbed us all, Tulo hit a whopping .340 with 21 home runs and 18 doubles. His OPS plus of 170 is by far his best mark. He even had a real shot at his career home run mark, as he was on pace for at least 30 plus. What a shame. But wouldn't you know it? Just like Nomar back in 2004, the 2015 season would see the unthinkable. After continuing to produce, Tulo would be traded to the Blue Jays prior to the deadline, and just like that, Tulo's time with the Rockies was over. I don't think folks truly know how good Nomar Garciaparra was offensively. Seriously. According to a 2001 article, super agent Scott Boras had a study done that predicted Nomar would hit 513 home runs and 3,581 career hits with a batting average of .336 by the time he turned 40. No one in baseball history has a career stat line like that. Hank Aaron did hit way more nukes, but his average wasn't nearly that high. That's how good Nomar was. And Troy Tulowitzki? He was an absolute wizard with the glove who also happened to mash. He is virtually tied for the all-time lead in career fielding percentage for a shortstop. But we were robbed of their full potentials. After each player was traded from their long-standing teams, they were never the same. Starting with Nomar, he ended up struggling to stay healthy with the Cubs before heading west to the Dodgers and concluding his career with Oakland in 2009. He only played in over 120 games, twice more during that span. And wouldn't you know it, one of those years, he was actually pretty good, posting a bWAR of 2.5 while hitting 20 bombs for the Dodgers in 2006. But he wasn't Nomar! And he had to watch the Red Sox win not one, but 2 World Series. Tulo even got to see that second one up close and personal. But speaking of Tulo, his career would end up finishing very unceremoniously as well. Just like Nomar, when he was healthy, he actually did produce fairly well. His debut at the Blue Jays went about as good as possible in 2015 with 3 hits, a bomb, and 2 doubles. His first full season in Canada wasn't that bad either. He only hit .254, but he had 24 bombs and 21 doubles in 2016. His OPS was back over 750 at 761, and his glove absolutely made the trip up north as he posted a very solid 1.7 defensive bWAR that season. Too bad the injuries also made the trip. He did play in 131 games in 2016, but 2017, he played in just 66 games as a hammy and ankle issue derailed his season. Then in spring training of 2018, it was announced that Tulo had bone spurs in his ankle. He ended up missing the entire 2018 season, and that offseason, he was released by the Blue Jays. He did try to make a comeback in 2019 by winning the Yankees opening day shortstop gig. But alas, just like Nomar's time in Oakland, one last glorious year was not in the cards. Tulo would end up playing just 5 games with the Yankees before getting hurt again and finally announcing his retirement from baseball in July of 2019, 10 years after Nomar. Troy Tulowitzki and Nomar Garciaparra. On the surface, the numbers tell us they were virtually the same player from a production standpoint. .2 career bWAR? Are you kidding me? Both right-handed, power hitting, first-round drafted, college shortstops. Nomar may have had a few more flashy seasons and became a cultural phenomenon in the late 90s, early 2000s, but Tulo was far superior with the glove, and he did the unthinkable, led the Rockies to the World Series. But he didn't win it, just like Nomar. Debuting 10 years apart, both players had excellent rookie seasons that immediately became excellent primes. Both were traded mid-season, and unfortunately for us baseball fans, in both cases, injuries robbed us of more. So all things considered, who are you taking? Tulo or Nomar? Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Be sure to smash that like button. Do check out our other videos. I do appreciate you guys either way. Until next time, baseball fans, cheers!